Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Joan. I'm Joan Ashcroft from Ashcroft Medical English. I'm a former UK doctor, premium OET preparation provider, and OET that mean? So if I'm an OET All-Star, it means that I'm a premium preparation provider, which is an OET teacher that has been certified by OET as having high quality courses. And as an All-Star, I provide regular live sessions here on the official OET YouTube channel and on my own social media channels. So I hope that clarifies who I am and yeah, and how I can help you. So I've been seeing some lovely hellos coming in through the comments. So thank you very much. I can see that we have lots of you coming in from all corners of the world. So thank you very much for joining me. Okay, um, it seems that everyone can hear me well. Can everyone see me clearly? Just say yes in the comments if everything is okay for you, and then we can get started. There's a little delay, so I'll just wait for that response to come in. Okay, it seems like positive responses here, so I'll just continue, okay? All right. So, as I said, I'm Joan, and I'm from Ashcroft Medical English. If you want to find out a little bit more about me, you can pop to my website, ashcroftmedicalenglish.com, and there you'll be able to get your questions answered. But if not, you can always just contact me, okay? And there you will also see how you can work with me if you're needing a little help preparing for OET. And you can see all the different options available. But what's not on the website, because this is a special class that I have put together um, for reading part A specifically, is this. So there's a group reading part A masterclass that I'm planning to run very soon, and there are only going to be 6 spaces available. I need to keep the class small so that you all get good value from it. Okay. Information will be given to you on that at the end of the session. So make sure you don't miss out on that link towards the end. Okay. Anyway, on with today's session. So, what we're going to be covering today is how to speed up in OET reading part 8, because you have to do it really, really quickly. So, to do that, you're going to need to be able to skim and scan. So, we're going to talk about exactly what that is and how it helps, how to apply those skills. We're going to practice together in class, and then at the end of the session, you're free to ask questions, and I'll do my best to give you the answers that you're looking for. Okay, so moving on. For those who are not so familiar with this part of the test, I'm just going to give you a brief overview. Okay, so let's just have a quick reminder of what this part of the test is all about. So, as some of you will be aware, the reading paper is divided into 3 sections, one of which is reading part A. So, this will be the first section of your reading test, and it, you only get 15 minutes, okay? Just 15 minutes to complete this paper. Then that paper is taken away for you to complete parts B and C. You need to be fast, and that's where things get a little bit tricky when you're not used to this part of the test. But with practice, you can definitely do it. So there are four texts you're going to be looking at, and they're all work related. They're all going to be the sort of things you might see in a healthcare setting. For example, protocols, um, information on health conditions, things like that. So there will be four of these texts, and the best strategy is to spend your first minute reading over these texts rather, but quickly. So it's not a detailed read, it's just a quick read to get the main idea. Because then you'll need to answer 20 questions. And if we work out the timing for it, you'll have just over 40 seconds per question if you're to finish everything on time. Now, these questions are of three different types: matching. So you're going to match the question to the relevant text. Then there'll be short answer questions and sentence completion questions. And it's important to be aware that the answers could be in any one of the texts in any order. So you really do need to be proficient and skilled at being able to skim read and scan for the information you're looking for. So, if you're able to perform well in this, then it's good news for you in a real healthcare setting at work, because when you're at work, you're going to be able to read what you need to read quickly, get the information from it that you want, and you're going to be accurate with this. So, as you can see, it's got relevance for real life work. So, let's take a look a little bit more at what I mean by skimming and scanning. Okay, so skimming is getting the main idea. Okay, you're not going to read for detail, you just want the main idea. So, what you're going to focus on is just the main titles, headings, subheadings, and that will give you enough to just understand what the content is. Next, you can cast your eye across the text. So you're going to go from top to bottom, from left to right, scanning through the text to look for nouns. And these nouns will help you understand more about the content. Um, for part C reading, this can be a useful strategy, reading the first and last sentence of each paragraph. Normally, though, for reading part A, the first two strategies are sufficient, but if you're getting a bit stuck, you might want to try this as well. Okay, so moving on to scanning. So, scanning is looking for very specific information. So you're going to be scanning the text for a specific word or phrase. Okay, and you're going to need to use this skill particularly when it comes to the short answer questions and the sentence completion questions. So, okay, so I've spoken enough, and I would like to let you kind of contribute to today's class. So, what I want you to do is try and do some skim reading for me. Okay, but before we do it, I'm just going to give you a little reminder of what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on the main title, headings, or subheadings. I want you to also scan the text for nouns so that you understand what the content is about a little more. Now, the example that I'm going to show you next is not a test paper. It's not from a test. This is a genuine piece of text taken from the NHS website. And we'll use this first of all to just get practicing. So on the screen now, you can see some text on ear infections. Okay, you can see headings here, you can see text here. What I'd like you to do is scan the headings, skim read the text, and see what nouns you find, and then be able to tell me what this text is about in just a few words. So I just want you to summarize what this text is about. On test day, you only want to be spending 15 seconds on this kind of activity, which is just trying to understand what the text is about. So try and be as quick as you can, and then put your summary in the comments for me. I'll give you 15 seconds starting now. Okay, so how are you all doing? Any luck being able to summarize this in such a short amount of time? Okay, well, I can see some answers starting to come in. There's a little bit of delay, so I'll give it a little bit longer. But what we should be thinking about here is that, okay, we know it's about ear infections. We can see that there are different ear infections mentioned, and it's giving information on these ear infections. Okay, I can see a lovely answer. Yes. Okay, I can see infection of different parts of the ear. Yeah, you've got the right sort of idea. Types of ear infection and its causes. Okay, differences between ear infection. Lovely. Yes, that's a lovely summary. Okay, so you guys have got the right idea here. So, moving on, then we're going to think about scanning. Okay, so now I want you to try and find some very specific information for me in the same text. So I'm going to need you to look at keywords and phrases. Okay, so here's a question for you. Okay, wearing earplugs is associated with which type of ear infection? Okay, so focus on this keyword, earplugs. Okay, you can start scanning. See if you can get an answer together in 40 seconds. Let's see. You're going to be scanning the text, trying to see where you can find the word earplugs, and then answering the question. Wonderful. Okay, I can see answers coming in already. Perfect. You're really speedy with this, so great work. Yes, you can see that if you scan for the word earplugs, you can find it here. And this comes under outer ear infections or otitis externa. Well done, guys. Brilliant. Okay, so you have the idea of skimming and scanning now, using text that you could find, online relating to healthcare. We're going to now focus on OET reading part A text. So these are the sort of text that you're going to see in the exam now. And these texts are all going to be about IV cannulas. Okay. So, quick reminder of what you're going to be doing. To skim read, you're going to be looking at the title, the headings, and subheadings. You're going to look at the nouns to understand the content. And if need be, you're going to look at the first few words in the first and last sentence of a paragraph. Okay, so let's go. Here is a reading part A text, okay? Now, as a quick reminder, on test day, you will get 4 different texts. For the purposes of this lesson, we'll be looking at 2 different texts. And the first thing that you're going to do on test day, like I mentioned earlier, is you're just going to get the main idea of what each text is about. Okay, so that's what I'd like you to do with this text. Could you tell me what this text is about in just a few words? Try and summarize and be as quick as you can. Okay, I'm just going to allow for those answers to come in, taking into account the little time delay that we've got here. Okay, let's see. Yes, we're starting to get some nice answers in. Yep. So we've got IV cannulation. Yes, it's certainly about IV cannulation. Yeah, and we've got IV cannulation indications and contraindication. Nice summary. Okay, you're getting the idea. Absolutely. Yes, and we have another one, overview, contraindications and indications of IV cannula. Okay, so IV cannulation. Good. Okay, you've got the idea. You've got the idea. All right. So your responses are really on point. Very good. Very similar to what I've put here as a summary. Um, and in order to do this summary, in order to make it, we've had a look at the headings that I've underlined here. But could you tell me, anyone, which nouns helped you understand? Can anyone tell me which nouns help them understand the content here? Okay, okay, right. Just waiting for a little bit to get the answer there. Still getting in some brilliant answers for the summary, so well done there, guys. And in terms of the noun that helped, I'm thinking that most of you will have noticed just how often IV cannulation was mentioned. Yeah, cannula. Yes, yes, cannula is mentioned. So cannulation, cannula, cannulation. These words mentioned quite frequently, which kind of gives you the idea of the content. Well done. Good, good. Okay, so moving on then. I'd like you to do the same now with this text, text D. What's it about? Tell me as quickly as you can. Okay, I'll just give you a moment to think, summarize, and then pop your answer in the comment. Okay, answer starting to come in now. Well done. Yep, definitely all about phlebitis, isn't it? Yeah. And what else is it about? Yeah, so we've got a little bit more information coming in. So yeah, so we know it's about phlebitis. If we look here, we can see that we've got the grading of it mentioned, and then we're also talking about prevention measures. And at the top here, we can see we've got some sort of overview on it. So well done, guys. You've got the right idea. So we might summarize it in this way. It's phlebitis, overview, grading, prevention, for example. Okay. But you guys have done really well. You've got the right idea. Okay. So In terms of which parts of the text that you focused on when you skim read, I'm imagining you would have possibly looked at the first sentence here to get an idea what it was about. Maybe just read the first few words, possibly. And then I'm sure your eye will have been drawn to these headings to understand. And in terms of nouns, well, you kind of mentioned it already for me, didn't you? Phlebitis. Phlebitis is mentioned so many times that we start to see this as a, very important point in the text. Okay, let's move on as we're running out of time. Okay, and I want to make sure we can move on to matching questions. Okay, so let's have a quick look at a matching question so that you've had a look at this type as well. So here, you need to have a look at the question, and these are going to be the first type of questions that you're going to get in the paper. And the purpose of them is to help you decide what information you're going to find in which text. So we've already decided what text A is about. It's about IV cannulation. And we've decided that text D is about phlebitis. So tell me, what's the answer to this question? In which text can you find information about when it's better not to insert an IV cannula? Text A or B? Awesome. Okay, so we're getting mostly correct answers here. Yeah, excellent. Good. Okay, so let's move on to the next question and we're going to check our answers after. Okay, next one then. Text A or D? A frequent complication associated with cannula use. Where will we find this information? A or D? Okay, let's have a look at your answers then. See if you got it right. Okay, so for the first question, when it's better not to insert an IV cannula, most of you got this. Yeah, vast majority, in fact. So brilliant. Well done. It's, of course, text A. When it's better not to relates to the contraindications. And we know that this is all about IV cannulation. So well done. Text A. Okay, and the answer for the next one was, of course, text D. Phlebitis is the complication, and we can see if we just read a little, we can see that it occurs in as many as 70% of patients. So we could class that as frequent. The answer's D. Brilliant work. Okay, now on to short answer questions. And since we're running out of time, we'll just have a look at one of these questions, okay? Because I want to make sure you have time to ask me any questions of your own at the very end. So, in summary, when you're trying to answer these questions, there are just some simple steps to take. First, you're going to go to the most appropriate text. And we know what the most likely text will be because we've already become orientated with what the content is for each text. Okay, so then you choose the text you think will be the best one. Then you're going to skim read the text so that you get to the right section of it to find your answer. And then you're going to scan for the required word. Okay. And remember, you must copy directly from the text. You don't change the words at all. And on test day, please check your spelling so that you don't lose the mark. Okay, so which text, first of all, will you choose to go to try and answer this question? Which part of the vein is affected in phlebitis? So, first of all, which text are you going to go to? A or D? Okay, not too tricky, is it now that we're familiar with the text? Of course, we're going to jump to text D. So now you're going to need to skim read the text and scan for the information you're looking for. Now, the question says, which part of the vein is affected in phlebitis? So, part of the vein. So, we're looking for something relating to the part of a vein. Okay, so do your best with this and skim read and scan for anything that's to do with the part of a vein and see if you can find the answer. Wonderful. Some quick answers there. Great. Okay, so let's just check the answer for the first one there. And of course, it was the internal lining of the vein. And you can see the information up here. Well done. Okay, so we're going to move on now to a quick look at a sentence completion question. We're just going to have a look at one since we're running short of time. So, okay, we've got to do this a similar thing here, but the difference is that we've got to fill in the gap so that the sentence reads correctly. So, first of all, we need to decide which text we're going to find the information in. So, the question is, if the patient's only symptom is, then they have grade 1 phlebitis. Okay. So, which text are you going to look in? Yeah, of course. You're going to jump to text D. And what is this only symptom in grade 1 phlebitis? Okay. Skim and scan. A, a tip, scan for grade 1. Wonderful, super, no problems whatsoever with this. So we'll move on, and I don't think we need to do that next question. You've done so well. Awesome. So you've done well with that. And as you can see, for that question that you got right there, um, the keywords were grade 1. And then you could find the answer, erythema. Okay, well done. Excellent work. So moving on through here. So we're going to need to wrap up now. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a few tips to take home with you. Okay, the first one is don't try and read every word in the text. You simply don't have time. Okay, so you're going to use your skimming and scanning techniques to be able to get the information you need. And also remember, don't base your answer on prior knowledge, okay? Your answers are there in the text, so just take the answer from the text, okay? As we've discussed, we've got a clear strategy of reading headings and subheadings. You're going to do that first so that you know the basic content of each text. Then you're going to be ready for your first set of matching questions. You're going to look at key words in the questions to help you find the answers for your short answer questions and also your sentence completion questions. Remember to be precise and make sure for these sentence completion questions that when you read it back, it reads in a grammatically correct way. And of course, because you've got to be so quick, you have no time to waste on questions if you're taking too long to find the right answer. Just move on. It's okay. Just move on and try and focus on getting the mark for the next question. If you have some time at the end of the test, you can always go back, okay? But of course, everything must be completed within 15 minutes because at that point, the paper is collected. Okay, so question time. Anyone got any questions they'd like to ask? Um, I'm going to have a look through the comments and see if there's anything there. Oh, but there is just one thing that I has come up a few times, which is the passing score. Okay, so for part A reading, there generally to pass, you'll need a score of 30 out of 42 as a minimum. Okay, so the whole paper includes 42 questions. Part A is 20 questions, but obviously Part B and C make up the rest. So if you're practicing with sample tests at home, for example, if your score is above 30, then you're in the right sort of area to hope for a pass. Okay, so let's see if there's any other questions I can answer. Okay, so a few questions in terms of, whether writing articles or not. Okay, so using articles, a, an, and the. So for your short answer questions, you would not necessarily expected to use the article, and that will be okay. I would say for a sentence completion question, if the sentence would not read in a grammatically correct way without the article, then the article should be there. But for your short answer questions, there won't be a need to use the article. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Uh, okay. I'm just having a look at other questions. Okay, so Amir's got a bit of a concern about the time it takes to skim and scan the text A, B, C, and D. Okay, so um, in terms of understanding the main idea of the text, you don't need to read the whole thing, and that's the key. Try and avoid reading the whole thing, every single word from top to bottom, because as I explained, it kind of it creates a lot of stress for you because there's simply no time. So the key is using the skim reading techniques I've explained to try and get the idea of the content. There will be points where you need to slow down a little to find some specific information. That is the case. So you might have to skim, 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 get to the right section, and then slow down a little and read in more detail. That is certainly the case. But actually, with practice, you can do it. It seems really tricky at the beginning, but once you've practiced for a while, you will speed up. Okay, but if you're needing help with that, then obviously, feel free to reach out. And if you need help from an OET teacher, then I'm here to assist. What I would say as something to reassure you, everyone finds it a little bit hard at the beginning. Don't worry about being super fast at the very beginning of your learning process. Focus on understanding your approach to the test, being accurate. And then once you have those things sorted out, work on speed. Okay. All right. So, um, as promised, I want to give you details so that if you would like to join me for a group reading Part A masterclass, you can. This will take place on Friday, the 6th of October. So, this Friday, okay? If you are interested in it, then I will leave a link for you. Okay, I'm going to put that in the comments just now for you, so that you can join me for a group lesson. So join me for a live group lesson. Okay. So have a look at the link that I have just put in the comments for you. It'd be great to see some of you there. Bear in mind that there are only 6 spaces available, so that if you are interested, I'd book sooner rather than later. I'm wanting to limit it to 6 to make sure that everyone gets a lot of attention in the class. We'll go through test strategy so that you're crystal clear. We'll talk about common errors to avoid. We'll work on speeding up your reading skills. We'll practice using official OET materials. And the environment that I want for the class is one that's positive and supportive. So it'll be a nice learning environment for you. And at the end of it, you will be given some free self study material so that you can keep practicing at home. Well, thank you for your time today, everyone. It's been lovely to see you. If you would like some help on OET writing, there's another date to remember, which is Monday, the 6th of November, where we'll be talking about how to choose the right content. Okay, so you've got 2 dates to remember: this Friday, October the 6th, and Monday, November the 6th. Okay, I'm just going to leave the details with you there for the masterclass, just in case you didn't get it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see some of you in class on Friday. That would be wonderful. Okay, I'll go. Thank you again for your time. Take care. Bye bye.